Hi everybody, Robert back here again with more Revit training. In this video, we've got a precast structure here, a lot of precast walls and things of that nature. I'm just going to pan around here. So you can see we've got these walls placed in here. Now I have a video earlier on how to create these walls, but what I want to do here, I want to go ahead and create the wall plates to hold these together. So I'm going to just create one. So I'll go into new, and I'll create some new family. So now what I want to use here, I want to use a generic face-based template. There it is. And we'll hit open. Now we're in our family editor. And to create our plate, the first thing you want to do always is create some reference planes here. No, I think we want to do this first. We want to go to the Manage tab. And we want to go into our project units. And let's set this to fractional inches. And we'll set this to 1/8. We'll select OK. And OK again. Now let's go ahead and drop some reference planes for our skeleton. That's always the first thing we want to do. So let's create reference plane. Let's draw a line here. One here. It doesn't matter where the location is. And we'll go one here and this way. So now, let's cancel out of this. Let's go and drop our dimensions in here for our parameters. So we'll go here, here, we'll go the overall dimension, and then we'll set equality. Oh, not yet, sorry. We'll select this one, and we'll set equality. And we'll do the same thing this way. We're going to annotate the line dimension. And then we'll go with overall. Now that's a little bit big, so let's do some flexing now to make sure everything works. So let's grab this guy. We'll make a parameter here. Let's say this is a width. And it'll be a type. Okay. And let's go with this one here. We'll add a parameter. This will be our length. And it'll also be a type. So let's do some flexing. I don't think this is going to be that big, so let's go into our family types editor. And we'll change these, make this a 8 by 8. Now we can just select 8 because we changed our units. So now we have 8" by 8". Now let's go into our front elevation. Now we use the base plate for a reason because we want to use these as plates. So we go into our reference plane. Let's do a reference plane about right here. And we'll set a parameter here. And what we can do here, we can select this and go ahead and put our dimension in. You know, from the temporary dimension. Let me just undo this quickly so you can see that again. So we can select this reference plane. And we can double click this and you get our permanent dimension. But this is also going to be a parameter. And we'll call this thickness. And it'll also be a type, and we'll say OK. Now we have all our parameters set basically, so let's go back into our reference level. And let's start adding geometry. So we'll create extrusion. And I want to use the pick line command here because we want everything locked. Oh, let's go back. I'm sorry. Undo that. We go back to our pick line command. We'll do pick a line, and here we can just select lock, and then we'll just select, select, select. Now we'll clean this up. We only touch the lines we want to keep, and there. And let's just finish this. So there's our basic geometry. Now let's go back into our front elevation. As you can see, we need to align this to our reference plane here. And we'll lock that. Now this is pretty thick. We don't want it this thick because it's just a base plate. So let's go into our property types and change the thickness to 1/4 of an inch. And we click apply. Okay. So it flexed right to where we wanted it. So now let's go back into, let's go have a look in our 3D view. And there's our plate. Now in the reference level, we need to go in, we want to have anchors or bolts down here. So let's go and just create additional reference planes. Let's place one here. One here. We don't worry about the dimensions yet. Place one here and here. Now I want to add a dimension from here to here. And let's just make this 1 inch. So we want to be like 1 inch from the plate. So let's just go 1 here. And that's good. And we want to lock this. And we'll do the same on this side. We'll lock this. And we'll go to the bottom. To this reference plane. We'll select this reference plane. And we'll make this 1 inch. And we'll lock this. And we need another one here. Select this one. A good way to get out of the command is to hit the modify tab. We'll make this 1 inch. And we'll lock this as well. We'll select the, and this is locked. So now we want to do some flexing to make sure everything is proportional. So let's go into our everything works properly. So let's go and say, let's make this 6 and make this one 10. And we'll click apply. Okay. So everything seems to be flexing okay, and these reference planes tends to move with the width and the length. Very important. So let's go back here and let's make this 8 inches. And this is going to be 8. And we click apply. Okay. So that's good. Now we have our plate and this thing is working properly. So now at this point, let's go in and create our anchors or our bolts. So we'll click for extrusion. We'll go here and let's make this at least a 1/2 inch thick. We'll place one here, one here. You could actually, let's just go with the 4. Place one here and one here. And then we'll select finish. Now we go into our front elevation, we will see that we have these plates that are going in this direction. But we don't want them going in that direction because we want them to go into our concrete. So let's create another reference plane. Let's go right about here. And let's just hit modify. And let's select this reference plane. Showing up there, it's kind of in the way. Well, that's okay. Let's just create a reference plane. And we want to go from, right, I'll take my dimension. Let's go from the base. So let's go tab, tab, and we got it. Select it. It's 6 inches deep right now. You want to hit modify. You want to select it. You want to hit another parameter. And let's call this depth. Let's say bolt depth. And we'll say okay, and that'll be a type parameter as well. So now, what we want to do is we want to hit modify. We want to align these to this reference plane so we can control the depth. So let's go align. Let's select the top and we'll lock it. Let's test this depth out, see if it works properly. Our depth is 6 inches. It's about 4 normally. Apply. And there, that's working good. So those are our bolt depths. And then we can go a little farther here. Let's go back into our reference level. And let's create another, let's go another extrusion. And we'll go circular and let's make this so 1/2 inch, the radius. This will be 1/2 inch radius. And let's finish this off. Now we go back into our front elevation. As we can see, these guys are way up here. We don't want them there. So let's align the top to this. And then we'll create another reference plane here. Let's select this line. We'll select this. We'll make this, let me make this 1/2 inch. Okay, let's make this a little bigger so we can see what's going on here. Actually, let's make it a little bit larger. Okay, now, so what we want to do from this point, we want to align the top of our bolt head to this line. We need a tab to make sure we pick up, oh, undo that, sorry. We want to tab, we want to align this again, we want to align it to here. So we want to tab till we find out when we got it locked in. Now we'll select this dimension right here and we'll lock it. Now let's test this and see if we can flex this properly. Hopefully we will. If not, we've got to do some more constraining. So let's go to bolt depth. Let's make this 6. Okay, so we're going to move those constraints and hit apply and okay. So what happened here, these didn't go in right, so let's go and align these again and lock them. And let's remove this dimension line here. Let's remove this. Let's just go and align and lock this. And let's place a dimension here. And this will be locked. So let's try that again. Let's go depth. Let's make this 4 again. Click apply. Okay. Okay, so there's our plate. Looks pretty good. Now let's go back into our 3D view. So if we go into Wireframe, we'll see we have a plate. Or even better yet, we can just go into a shaded view and take this, select modify, and let's pull this back. So there's our plate. Now what we want to do here now, while we've gotten this file, let's go into our family category parameters, and let's change this to, let's say structural stiffener, and click OK. Also, what we want to do is we want to select this and get us a material. Normally in Precast, the material we will want to use is galvanized or pre-galvanized. So here's our material, and let's go down to metal. Let's see, galvanized, steel galvanized. There you go. Select it. Any day now. Here we go, and we'll apply, and we'll click OK. So now we look at this realistic. The plate is galvanized. Now what we need to do is make the bolt also galvanized. So we can go, I hope we can do this. I'm going to try it. If not, we'll have to grab each selectively. Let's just do this. I got this guy, and I'm going to just select all of these. And I'm going to give it a material. And I'm going to still galvanize. Okay. So now they're all galvanized. So there's our plate. So what we want to do now is we want to go back into that project. So we go do this pull down here. We want to load this into our project. Let's just overwrite. I have one in here for practice, so that's why it's doing that. So now we're in our project. So all of these panels have to have base plates. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select one of these guys, and I'm going to hide this category. So now we have just the foundation wall where the base plates are going to go. But it's something important that we need to do first and foremost. So I'm going to unhide this. I'll just undo it for now. And let's go into our level 1. This is our floor plan, and these are all those wall panels setting on this wall. Let's just make this a shaded view so you can see. So these are our wall panels. So what we want to do now is we want to go into this section view. I want to cut a section here. And now, as you can see, this is our foundation wall. And here's our wall panel. So let's select this wall panel. Let's do a right click. We want to select all instances in the entire project. And we want to offset this, the base offset to 1 inch. Or whatever the engineer wants you to do. And just work in there. And and it should, okay, we want to, okay, change, okay, this is okay. So now it's jumped up 1 inch, as you can see now. So let's go back into our framing plan. Well, let's go to level 1. I'll go back to hidden line. So these are all our wall panels. So let's select one. Let's hide category. So this is just a foundation wall. So what I want to do is I want to go in and pick up that plate I just created. So I want to go to my component. And I want to place it on the face. And we'll set it right there. And let's set another one about here. Now, just so we can see our placement, let's go back and turn back on our wall panels. So we select this guy. We'll select it, right click, and we'll unhide category. Okay, now once we have that, let's turn this off. Now let's go into a wireframe so we can see where the placement is. So there are our plates right there. So let's select the plate. Oh, sorry guys. So let's tab in here and find this plate. There's our plate. Let's move it about to here. They normally want them about 1 or 2 feet off the edge. So let's go place this guy about right here. And I want to line this to the back of the wall. And there's our plate. So now, right now, this wall panel, I'm not sure how wide it is, but let's just be consistent here and let's take this one. And let's make this one 1 foot from the edge of the panel. Nope, I'm sorry. On the line, let's just go here and do a dimension from here to here. Let's select our plate. Tab till we find our plate. Select it. Make this 1 foot. Okay, and then we go all throughout the wall panel here. So let's just go and let's copy this one. And I would say 2 feet. This just depends on whatever you're required. They normally use about 2 feet from here. There's another one. So this is basically how you do it. So let's copy another one here. We'll select this plate. From the edge of the door to the plate center line. Let's make this 2 feet. Or whatever, whatever they require you to do. So let's make this 2. So now you have these plates here. Now let's go and pull this section over and have a look at what we have here. Let me go and look in the wireframe. And there's our plate. Now, we need another connection from here to here. So let's go and make another family. And this will be in what we call an erection plate. So let's go File, New Family. And we'll go back and down again to our generic face-based. If I can find it. There it is. We'll click Open. Now this plate will be very simple. Just go Create, Reference Plane. Go here, here, and then again, before we really get started, let's go to Manage tab and change our project units, because this always defaults to feet and fractional inches. We want to go to fractional inches, and we want to set this to 1/8 of an inch, and let's say OK. OK. Let's go continue with our reference planes. And we'll annotate this line dimension. Nope, we don't want to do that one first. We want to do this one first. So I don't know if it really matters. Go here to here, set equality, do our overall. We'll go from here to here, do our overall. Let's flex these guys. I think they're going to be like, okay, we want to give these parameters first before we start flexing. Actually, you can't flex until we get parameters, so let's go with length. We'll say OK. And we'll select this one. Oh, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to show you a little trick here. I want this to be a length. And I want this one. I want to edit this one. Let's just delete this one out. Let's do this again. And I'll select it. Add a parameter. This will be width. And we'll say OK. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of precast because everybody's writing in about precast, and that's okay. Worked as a precaster for a while. So let's make this. This is going to be a small plate, so we'll make a 4 by 4. Now this guy here, we want to go to our front view, and we want to create a reference plane here. This will just be a simple plate. And the good thing about it, it'll be a type parameter so we can change it to whatever we like. So I'm going to tab this to here. And we're going to get this parameter here. We'll say thickness. We'll say OK. And this thickness is going to be about 1/4 of an inch, or we can change it to whatever we want. So thickness, let's say 1/4. Okay. So now let's go back into our reference level, and then we want to go in here. we want to change this to structural stiffener. Select OK. And then we want to file, we want to save this as, I'll just put it on my desktop as erection plate. Now, mind you, we didn't name the other one, but that's okay. It'll just be called Family 1. Now, let's go in and create some geometry here. Back to our reference level. And we want to create an extrusion. Use the pick line command. And we'll have locks already set, which is good. And so we'll just pick these lines. And they're already locked, which is good. And let's finish it. Now let's go into our front elevation. And then align the top with this reference plane here and lock it. And let's go into our 3D view. And that will be what we call an erection plate. So like we did before, let's grab this guy and move it over. And I'm going to select it. And I want to change the material to pre-galvanized. Let's just go pre-galvanized here. Should be already there. Okay. Let's say galvanized. That's what we want. We would have to create a pre-galvanized. We'll go steel galvanized here. Set it up there. We'll apply it and select OK. So now looking at this in realistic, we have our pre-galvanized plate. We can slide this back over if you want. Doesn't really matter. Now let's load this guy into our project. OK. Now, let's go into our level 1 and we'll see where we have our plates that we already selected. So let's go in a 3D view and let's hide this category. Let's also hide these steel joists. Hide category again. And I select it. Oops, I'm sorry. Okay, now I'm not sure where. I think we placed them over here. So let's go into a wireframe now, just so we can see where we put our plates. There they are. So now let's go into our structure component. Let's place the component. And there we want to place on the face. So let's place this guy right about here. Now let's go back into our level 1 and we can have a look at what's going on here. So I would just flip this guy around right here. Just flip this section mark around 90 degrees and I'll put it back. Let's have a look. I don't see that plate. Okay. There it is. So there's the erection plate. So let's align this to the top of the plate here. And then let's center this, align to the center point. And there's our erection plate. Now, we can copy these throughout. Let's copy this down to this plate. And we can copy it as well. I should have did multiple. So let's copy this to here. Now, we have our erection plate. So now we need another plate to weld to the panel. A plate in here. So what we can do is we can go back. We want to go to our component. Or even so, we can just do this. Let's go back to family 1. And let's load that back into our project. And we'll go to component. It's not the one I wanted. So what I'll do is I'll cancel out of this and I'll just go back into that plate we had open. Let's shut these other windows down. There you go. We'll take this guy here and we'll load him into the project. We'll load him into this project. Let's make this bigger. We go component, place component. Okay, so I can do it this way as well. Let's go to this family 1, which is our plate, and we'll set it right about here. Now what we can do is let's cancel out of this. Let's go back into our level 1. Let's open up the section. And we're going to place this guy right here. Align it just to the top. And then align it to the center. With this. Oops, sorry. Do that again. Now, this plate, we can change this now. We can make this a new type because it's probably not this size. Maybe it needs to be a little bigger. So just so you know we can do this, so let's go and cancel this. Now let's select this plate. Let's edit the type. Let's duplicate this guy. We'll call it panel plate. Anything you want. We'll say OK. And now let's make this one a little bigger. Let's make this one, it's an 8 by 8. Let's make this 10 by 4. So it's a little bigger than the other one. Actually, we don't want it to go that deep because we have the bolts here. So let's select it again. And let's edit this type again. Let's make this 8. Okay, now that's good. So let's just change the width then for this one. So and let's duplicate this. Let's say this is panel 3 plate. Okay. And let's make the width 10 inches. And there you go. So now let's copy these throughout. Probably should have selected multiple. Let's go and place them in here. Oh, we didn't constrain that, so let's undo that. Need to constrain. Let's go copy this again. Copy. Constrain multiple. So let's select this one. Now these can be grouped together or whatever you want to do with them, really. So if I did a group, I could say, let's just group these two together here. Let's copy. So right there. Okay, so this is a quick little exercise on how do you do plates. These are not the type of plates they would probably use. Maybe some areas they would, I don't know. But so there's our precast walls and our plates. A erection plate, a base plate, and a plate for the foundation. So hey guys, any more questions about precast? Feel free. We can do the same thing up here, but normally you use mid-V connectors, but you can use the plates as well. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. This is Robert signing off. If you like this video or you want to subscribe, and you'll get updates of my videos every day. Bye.